Hello, everybody. E3 is upon us, and we're here today to talk to you about the EA Play, the first of many conventions, conferences, things that are happening for E3. Let's talk about some Battlefield 5. So Battlefield 5, they are still pumping out updates for this game, and I am incredibly excited. Chapter 4 is about to begin, and with Chapter 4, we're going to get new maps and actually a change of gameplay as well, which now, Austin, I don't know if you still feel this way, but I remember back in the early days of Battlefield 3 or 4, whenever they brought out that close quarters expansion pack, like that was your jam. Like, do you feel that way? Like, do you feel Battlefield 5 is missing that in this game?
I think they're all missing that, but I feel like the way that the game has changed over time, it's not the same game, obviously, that I grew up on or enjoyed playing at that time. I think the mechanics and the build out of how things work from then worked better there for me. And I don't think the guns and the gameplay and the way everything's made this time is going to be like, it's going to like hold me to it. I don't think I'm going to enjoy it as much, is what I'm trying to say.
Like the close quarters?
Yeah, I love close quarters
condition.
Yeah, I just don't think I like the guns and the way that they play in Battlefield 5 for this.
Huh, interesting.
Yeah, I always found it hard playing, like doing the gunplay in Battlefield 5.
Yeah,
I've gotten used to it and gotten better at it, but it's still not the same. There's just something
you
about
play medic, right?
Yeah, I like playing the medic.
Yeah, and that's like largely like semi-automatic rifles, right? And then like submachine guns, or is it submachine guns at all?
Yeah, it's submachine guns, and then you can get a rifle if you want to.
Okay, gotcha.
Bolt action,
cool.
or not bolt action, but
like kind of semi like a Grand or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, not a Grand because they don't have the Grand yet, but they are going to have the Grand, which we'll talk about in a second. But Chapter 4, Defying the Odds. So they just brought out a new map that was just like part of, I guess, Chapter 3, but it was called Mercury, and it's set in Greece. I haven't played it yet, but it looks gorgeous. It's a really, really nice kind of like coastal map set in Greece in an area of the war that not many people knew about. But in July, which I'll jump back to June in a second, but in July, they're bringing out a new map called Marita, which is along the mountainside in the Battle of Greece as well. And this one is exclusively devoted to close quarters based combat, because apparently a lot of people have been wanting that. And I feel like personally, I've enjoyed maps in this game where you do have a close quarters emphasis. There is one map, and I don't remember the name of it right now. It's the one that's got the like wheat fields or whatever with like the yellow tones everywhere, and there's like the bridge, the big huge bridge. No, that's not that one. It's a different one. But there's this town that is like a control point in one of the game modes that I was playing this game. It was like the tug of war game mode, and we were going back and forth and like trying to gain control of this town. And it was so intense, and I was racking up so many kills and having such a good time in that. And this Merida map looks a lot like that kind of feel, except exclusively, because there's no weapons or there's no vehicles in this map, which I'm really hyped about. So that'll be nice and different to see. And it just, I mean, the game visually is stunning, which I'm like all about. So I don't know, your thoughts on this map, Merida. Did you feel pretty good about it, or we'll see?
Yeah, I'm kind of about any of the maps, really. Like, none of them have been like, this is my map, and I love this map. I'm just kind of going with the flow this time. Again, like, Battlefield's kind of changed in that way for me. I enjoy playing it, but it's not as, like, I'm going to play this every night, and I'm going to get good, and I am good at it, you know? I just want to rank up, and, yeah. It's not my leisure game like it used to be.
Yeah, they do kind of have, I guess maybe the sense of identity of each map is not as, like, you had like back in Battlefield 4 or 3 or whatever, which one introduced the Levolution? Was that Battlefield 4?
I believe so.
Yeah, so like in Battlefield 4 you had maps like that Langkang Dam, which had a very clear, you know, focus on a dam, and that was like the center point of that whole entire map. And you had like high and low ground, and that was just like really, really well done. And then you had that flood zone also. The flood zone is what I'm thinking about. That's the one where Levolution came in and it like raised the map to where, you know, what you used to have as a floor was now like underwater, and you had to completely change the way the game worked out. So everything had kind of like a center point or like a focal point. Like Zavad 311 had that center train station that was really popular, and then like the Hainan Resort had that big huge resort building in the middle of like the map. So you had like a central point that was like the iconic piece of the map. And I feel like that's one thing that's kind of been lost in these Battlefield 5 maps. But I still like the way they look and the way they play. There's still areas of them. There just isn't like a central, this is the focus of combat and you need to all go here. Except for that one map that has the big huge airplane hangar in the middle of it. But that one I feel like is too focused on that center point when it should be kind of more branched out. But that aside, Al Sundan is the other map that they have, which is based off of one of the single player modes that they're going to do. And that one, I'm actually like really excited about this one because it reminds me of El Alamein in Battlefield 1942 back in the day, which is very open, but had a lot of diversity in like elevation, but it was very, very flat and open. And I think that's going to kind of bring back memories of the olden days. And then they announced 2 new close quarters maps that they haven't put a name to yet, but they're in Province and Lofton Islands, and they're mainly focused on tight infantry combat along the water. And then they're going to have some updates to Firestorm, new weapons, vehicles, and gadgets, and all kinds of stuff like that. But the big thing here is Chapter 5, which comes out in the fall, which is going to introduce the Pacific Theater, which for Battlefield fans from the early days, that was what made Battlefield was the Pacific Theater. Guadalcanal, Iwo Jima, Canal, like Coral Sea, like those kinds of maps were just epic and intense. And I'm so excited to see what they do with this because they showed some hints at them doing a Iwo Jima map, and I'm like, hell yes.
Yeah, you've been asking for that for a while.
Yes, I have. I just basically want them to remake Battlefield 1942 and just give me all the maps remastered in today's days.
Well, if anyone follows Nintendo's plan, eventually there'll be a Battlefield Forever type thing that comes out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just have them
they
all,
also
man.
said they're going to increase the maximum rank from 50 to 500 in August, which would be crazy, and introduce private games so you can just play with your friends and do tournaments and control the experience a little bit. But I just like that they're dropping content the way that they are. Like they're holding true to their word of like, we will have free content drops and we're going to stay consistent with it. And they've been pretty consistent with like new maps here and there to where, you know, by the end of the year, you're going to have a good solid lineup of maps in this game, a lot of content that's in there, and it's going to be well worth the $60. I mean, it is now, I think, but it's going to be even more worth the $60 at the end of the year. To get this and invest in it and play it, because I think the gameplay is great, even though the maps aren't as iconic as they have been in the past. Just like the new like meta changes that they made to the game have been pretty solid, and I like it better than Battlefield 1, like a lot better.
Yeah.
Even though Battlefield 1 like felt cool, it's just this one, the gameplay that they hit the gameplay just right on the head in most cases, unless you get in that map that has all the tanks, and then I get pissed off because there's too many tanks.
Yeah, I'm surprised too they're keeping up with this content. I mean, it doesn't seem like Battlefield has that fan base, and I've seen videos, people's opinions saying that it's kind of fallen off and bringing up good evidence and stuff, and people don't want to play anymore. But I mean, I guess they see surges when new content is dropped, and that's always a good thing. I am happy, even though I don't play it as much anymore. I am happy they are keeping this up, because that's good. That's a good sign for things to come, especially future Battlefield games.
Yeah, for sure. So looking forward to the year of Battlefield 5. No new Battlefield. We don't really need a new Battlefield because they're keeping up with it. So it's pretty.
That was our prediction.
Exciting.
Like, we don't need a Battlefield.
Yep. And I'm glad that they stuck to it. So there you have it, folks. Austin, anything else you want to add about EA Play this year?
No, I think that's it. Like I was expecting them to do some kind of like surprise announcement.
Right.
I don't think EA's ever had like a really amazing conference. I mean, this is about the same. I'm just glad that they doubled down. Well, they didn't really double down, but like they focused on the content that people cared about. Didn't go crazy or extravagant. Didn't have a bunch of light shows. Didn't do some stupid thing where they have people come on the stage and do whatever on their phones or talk about, Madden or whatever. They just like, here it is. Here's the content. Here's some gameplay. All right, moving along. 30-minute sections. Let's go.
Yeah, it was very like kind of community focused and like, hey, we've been listening to you guys. Let's just sit down, talk about some of the things. Now, granted, some of the speakers that they had at these different pieces, like the one for Battlefield 5, that girl that was on there, I was like, just get her off the stage because she doesn't know anything about Battlefield 5.
No.
But that's besides the point. I mean, overall, like they did a really good job at not doing anything overly extravagant and focusing on what players want to hear, which is what are we going to get out of these games that you are doing well with. And then their one big highlight, which is Jedi Fallen Order. Let's see some gameplay. And they brought that, and nothing too crazy, but I mean, they've had such a rough year. Nothing from Anthem, which I was kind of shocked, honestly. So it sounds like they have kind of killed that.
It's dead.
Maybe.
It's dead.
Yeah. But they focus on the good stuff that they got, which is Battlefield, Apex, like FIFA and Madden. As much as we don't really care about it, like those are huge franchises that always kill it. And they're changing those up again. Yep. So
I will say they did a good job of making us forget about the shit that doesn't matter.
Yes, that's exactly right. I agree. Yeah. So there you have it. EA Play. Those of you that watch this video and are interested in learning more, stay subscribed to our YouTube channel because we got all kinds of new stuff coming out in the next couple of days. So stay tuned and we'll have all the coverage that you need right here at the Inner Gamer. Thank you.